Hello, grade 5, and happy Friday. Today we're going to have another lesson. Actually, this is going to be our last recorded lesson for math for the school year. So it's almost that time of year where we're just into summer and done for the year. And I hope that everyone has been getting to enjoy their time with their family and getting outside a lot. We've had some beautiful weather lately, and hopefully that will continue. So today we're going to talk about adding and subtracting money, which in reality is very similar to adding and subtracting multi-digit numbers, also very similar to what we've covered already with adding and subtracting decimals. So with that being said, one of the most important things you have to remember, just as you did when you were doing decimals, is making sure that decimal point is lined up. And just like you do with regular addition and subtraction, making sure that your place values are all lined up so that you will be able to get the correct solution. So we're going to go ahead, do a sample here. And if you see the notes here, it just says the big difference is lining up the numbers using the decimal points. So that's the most important thing. If you don't have the decimal points lined up when you're adding or subtracting money, you're going to end up with the wrong answer. So as long as you have that lined up, you should be just fine. And if you notice here, we've got what it would look like on grid paper. So that can help you just to make sure that you have everything lined up. So if you have grid paper at home, of course, you can use that. But as long as you're being careful with your writing and where you're placing things, you don't really need grid paper. So let's just take a look at this first one, $2.33 plus $2.74. All the same rules are going to apply as they do in multi-digit addition. So if we need to regroup, we need to regroup. So 3 plus 4, of course we start to the right side, is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. So here is where our regrouping comes in. We can put our 1 over here, and then 2 plus 2 is 4. Don't forget to add that 1, so 4 plus 1 is 5. So our answer there is $5.07. Just the same as if we were adding 3-digit numbers, just making sure that that decimal point is lined up correctly. All right. And today's lesson, we only have, I think, 8 more pages. It might take a little bit longer because we do have some word problems, but this is also going to be covering 2 different activities. So there's an activity worksheet today to complete, and then another one for next week. So this lesson will cover both of those. All right, so let's just do a couple of examples here. Just the same thing that we just did. And then we've got one with 3 digits, one with 4 digits. But again, it really doesn't matter how many digits you have as long as the numbers are all lined up and your decimal point is lined up, you should be just fine. So here, $5.08 plus $1.51. 8 plus 1 is 9. 0 plus 5 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. So our answer is $6.59. And if you notice, there was no regrouping in that one. Here we have 4 digits now. 2 to the left of the decimal, 2 to the right of the decimal. Notice our decimal points are lined up once again. Start all the way to the right and work our way to our left. 5 plus 8 is going to be 13. So we write our 3. And then our 1 up here. 9 plus 2 is 11. Don't forget to add that. 11 plus 1 is 12. So we just write a 2. Put our 1 above our 1's column there. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 1 is 6. And then 2 plus 4 is 6. So our final answer is $66.23 for that one. Okay. So here we're going to go over a few word problems because you're going to have a bunch of word problems on your exercises, on your worksheet to complete. So we'll go over a couple of these. And again, when you're doing word problems, make sure that you're reading them carefully. Make sure that you're looking for those key words like total, difference, sum, those kind of things to tell you what you're going to need to do if you're going to need to add or subtract. So here we have you spent $14.98 for a t-shirt and $5.78 for a sandwich. how much did she spend in total? If we look at that in total, that tells us we're going to have to add this together to come up with an answer. So one thing I just wanted to point out here is here we've got something in a number in the tens column. Here we do not. So again, making sure you're lining up those decimals is very important so that you get the right answer. So we can just write this out. 14.98 plus, and then the 5 is going to be right below the 4. There's my decimal point, and 78. So $14.98 plus $5.78. 8 plus 8 is 16. Carry my 1, regroup that. 9 plus 7 is 16. 16 plus 1 is 17. There's my 7. Make sure I put my decimal point. Make sure I put my 1 up there. 5 plus 4 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So a 0 goes there. And then 1 plus 1 is 2. So our answer, and don't forget your dollar signs when you're writing these, is $20.76. That would be how much she spent in total. And of course, when we're answering word problems, we want to try to answer those in complete sentences as well. So you spent a total of $20.76 would be a great way to answer that one. Okay. Next one, and this just has to do with also making sure that we remember the values of our different bills and coins. So it says Hannah has a $5 bill, 4 toonies, 4 loonies, and 9 quarters in her pocket. How much money does she have? Now it doesn't specifically say, doesn't say total or sum, but if it's asking how much money she has, that gives us the clue that we're looking to add everything together. So we can break this down. So we can say, okay, she has a $5 bill. So one $5 bill is going to be $5. 4 toonies. Now if you remember, a toonie is $2. She has 4 of those. So to find that, we can say 4 times 2. So 4 times 2. I'll just write it up here so that I know each one that I do. So that would be $8. 4 loonies. A loonie is a $1 coin, so 4 times 1 is 4, so that would be $4. And then 9 quarters in her pocket. Now this one, maybe you could do mentally. Maybe you need to do multiplication to do that. So we know a quarter is worth 25 cents. So I'll just show you how we can do that if you want to write it down and do 25 times 9. Good little review for multiplication. So, and we could do this one of 2 ways. We could do it in dollar notation or we could do it in cent notation. I'll do it in dollar. $0.25 times 9. So 9 times 5 is 45. So I write a 5 here, a 4 up here, and then 9 times 2 is 18, and then 18 plus 4 is 22. And I've got a 0 here, so I can write my 22 down below my line here. Now I just have to be careful what I do with my decimal point when I'm multiplying with decimals or money values. So what I need to look at is both of my factors here, and I notice that only one of them has a decimal point. And so I look at that, and I see, okay, one of them has a decimal point, and there are 2 digits to the right of it. So that means in my product, in my answer, there also needs to be 2 digits to the right of the decimal point. So I'll put my dollar sign, and then there's my decimal point, so $2.25. Now, we need to add all these totals together. So we have $8, $4, $5, $2.25. And the only thing when adding this, and if you want to add all 4 numbers at the same time, fine. Some people find it easier to maybe add 2 and 2 so that the math is a little bit simpler. I'll just show you. I'm going to add all 4 of them together, but whatever you're comfortable with works. So I'm going to then, even though I don't have, these are just whole dollar amounts, there's no cents, I'm going to put in my zeros because I have this here. So I want to make sure that my decimal points are lined up. So I've got $8 plus $4 plus $5 and then finally plus $2.25. Now when we look in our cents to the right of the decimal, I'll put my decimal point down here right off the bat just so I don't forget. So this is going to be pretty easy because we have zeros except for one spot, except for the $2.25. So that's going to be 5 there. That's going to be 2 there. This is where we just have to be careful and why it might be helpful if you break it up into 2 separate problems, because we're adding multi-numbers and you just don't want to lose your places where you're counting. But 8 plus 4 is 12. 12 plus 5 is 17. 17 plus 2 is 19. So $19.25 is the total amount that Hannah has in her pocket. So hopefully that's pretty simple. And again, with the quarters, you could write that out, but you may be able to just figure that out by thinking of money as well. Okay, moving right along. Just a couple more addition problems. And we just have numbers that are a little bit bigger, but again, as long as we line up the decimals, it doesn't matter how many digits we have. We just keep working our way as we normally do, regrouping when necessary, and making sure our decimal points are lined up, making sure we have our decimal point in our answer. So start off, 5 plus 6 is 11. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 plus 1 is 7. 8 plus 1 is 9. And 7 plus 1 is 8, so $89.71. Now here we have $23.89 plus $67.23. So I'm going to add my 9 plus 3 is 12. So I write a 2 here, a 1 in my tenths column. 8 plus 2 is 10. 10 plus 1 is 11. Again, I need a 1 over here because I'm regrouping. 7 plus 3 is 10. 10 plus 1, again 11. And again another 1. 2 plus 6 is 8. 8 plus 1 is 9. So we have a total of $91.12. All right. Let's take a look at this word problem. Now this, as you will see on your worksheet for today or for next week, you will have some multi-step word problems where it's going to ask you a few different questions, so I wanted to go over one of these. So I'll read this for you. Sharon saved 5 loonies, 5 dimes, and 3 nickels from babysitting. Her brother Ronan saved a $5 bill, a loonie, and 3 quarters from shoveling snow. Who has saved more money? So we're going to look which amount is greater. So first we're going to have to figure out how much money this is altogether. So let's take a look at Sharon. I'll just write that here, Sharon. And I'm going to do this in my head. Of course, if you need to write it down, that's fine. So we have Sharon saved 5 loonies. 5 loonies, $1 each, $5. 5 dimes. 5 times 10 is 50, so that's 50 cents. And 3 nickels, 5 times 3 is 15, so that's 15 cents. So I got $5, 50 cents, and 15 cents. I add that all together, $5.65. Now I've got Ronan. Ronan has a $5 bill, a loonie, and 3 quarters from shoveling snow. So a $5 bill, of course, is worth $5. Loonie's worth $1. Now we've got $6. 3 quarters is 75 cents. So we have $6.75 for Ronan. Who has saved more money? We look at these 2 amounts. I can pretty easily see that $6.75 is more than $5.65. So our answer is Ronan. You can write that out. Ronan has saved more money. Now for part B, it says they want to share their money to buy a present for their mother. How much money do they have all together? That word right there, all together, is key, telling us that we need a total. I've already lined these up nicely, so I can just go ahead and add those because I'm getting a total. I'll put my decimal point down here just so I already have it, so we're ready to go. 5 plus 5 is 10. our 1 here. 6 plus 7 is 13. 13 plus 1 is 14. And then I need another 1. 5 plus 6 is 11. 11 plus 1 is 12. So our answer, how much money do they have altogether? $12.40. Now it says they've chosen a teapot for $12.50. Do they have enough money? You could do this one of two ways. You could look, and if you can quickly recognize that $12.40 is less than $12.50, that's the best way I say. I'm going to say you could subtract if you needed to find out how much more money they need. But if you look, $12.40 is less than $12.50. So no, they do not. They need one more dime. So maybe they could find it on the floor or borrow it from one of their friends. So no, they do not have enough money to buy their mom that $12.50 teapot. All right. So hopefully, though, that's not, as long as you're reading these carefully and lining up your decimals, shouldn't be, hopefully you won't have too much trouble with it. All right, so now we're going to get into subtraction. And again, we've done multi-digit subtraction. We've done subtraction with decimals. So basically the same thing. We're adding a dollar sign. We're adding the decimal. So we have experience with that. So as long as those decimal points are lined up, all your place value columns are lined up, shouldn't have too much of a problem doing this. So again, we start from the right. We're going to regroup when necessary. So we have $98.89 minus $71.64. 9 minus 4 is 5. 8 minus 6 is 2. Don't forget my decimal point there. 8 minus 1 is 7, and 9 minus 7 is 2. So my answer, $27.25. All right, so here we have in B, $89 minus $67.23. Here, if you notice, we've got zeros, so that means we're going to need to do some regrouping. So first, I'm going to look to the column all the way to the left of my last zero. So I'm going to look at my 9, and that's where I am going to move some numbers over. That's what I'm going to regroup from. So if you recall, we cross out the 9, that's going to become an 8. And this would become a 10. However, I still have a 0 here, so I'm going to need to regroup again and move some numbers over to the right. So I'm going to cross out that 10, make it a 9, and now this, all the way in our hundredths column, becomes a 10. And now I'm ready to start my subtraction. So 10 minus 3 is 7. 9 minus 2, also 7. Decimal point. 8 minus 7 is 1, and then 8 minus 6 is 2. So that gives me an answer of $21.77. All right. Just 2 more slides to get through here, and then we are all finished for today. All right, so another word problem. As I said, you're going to have a bunch of these on your worksheets, so I wanted to just go over a few of them. Number 2, Amir went to a grocery store with $15. He would like to buy buns for $1.45, ice cream for $6.50, and tomatoes for $2.50. Does he have enough money? 2-part question. If yes, how much change will he get? So, first step here, he wants to know if he has enough money. And so what we're going to have to do is find the total of all the money that he has. And in order to, we know that he has $15. We're going to have to find the total of all the things he wants to buy. If that total is less than the money he has than $15, then we know he has enough. So let's see, we're going to add this up. And again, you can do this by doing, say, $1.45 plus $6.50 first and adding that to $2.50, or you could do all 3 at once, whatever you're more comfortable with. This time I'll do it in steps. So I'll do the $1.45 plus $6.50 Okay, so 5 plus 0 is 5. 5 plus 4 is 9. Decimal point. 6 plus 1 is 7. Dollar sign. So there's $7.95. I still have to add the tomatoes for $2.50. So I'll add those here. 2.50. 5 plus 0 is 5. 9 plus 5 is 14. Decimal point. Add a 1 up there. 7 plus 2 is 9. 9 plus 1 is 10. So our answer is $10.45. And remember what I said. If that total is less than the amount of money Amir has, $15, then yes, he does have enough money. You write it, yes, he has enough money. I'm just going to put yes. And then it says, if yes, which it is, how much change will he get? So in order to determine how much change he gets, we need to subtract. He went in with $15. He's giving the store $10.45. So that tells us that we are going to have a difference. We're going to need to subtract. So we will start with our $15. And then we subtract $10.45. And again, we have an issue here where we're going to have to regroup it. So we're going to take from our ones. So we're going to take $1 and move that into our tenths and hundredths, into our cents, basically. So that becomes a 4. Remember, this becomes a 10 here. However, I need to regroup again, so it's going to become a 9. And then this is going to become a 10. So 10 minus 5 is 5. 9 minus 4 is 5. Decimal point. And then 4 minus 0 is 4. 1 minus 1 is 0, so we don't even need to write that. So $4.55 is how much change he will get. So that's how much he'll leave the store with his buns, ice cream, and tomatoes, and come home with $4.55. Okay. One more and we are finished. And this one, is just about using skip counting and trying to do some of these problems mentally. And again, you are going to have these exercises similar to this on your worksheet. So I just wanted to quickly go over this. So use skip counting to find the answer to the question mentally. How much do 4 pencils cost at $1.10 each? And so basically what you can do, you can break this down into 2 different parts. You've got your 10 cents, your $1. So to find how many cents you're going to have, you skip count tens. So 10, 20, 30, 40. So that's going to tell you it's going to be 40 cents. And then here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're just adding ones to each other. So $4.40. Okay, for B, this might be a little bit trickier, but if you remember some of your mental math strategies and skip counting, hopefully you should be able to do this in your head as well. Oranges cost 60 cents each. How many could you buy with $3? So what I can do I can make these into smaller numbers to figure this out. So I can just look at my 6, and then since I'm taking a 0 off the 60, I can take a 0 off of here as well. So basically what I'm just trying to do in my head is skip count until I get to 30. So we could do that 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. So that tells me 5. 5 oranges. Now the next one, stickers cost $1.20 each. How many could you buy if you had $10? And again, I can use that same strategy. I can take a 0 off here. So now I'm dealing with 12. I'm dealing with multiplication facts that we've gone over before. So I'm dealing with 12, and if I take a 0 off of here, I'm dealing with 100. So in order to figure this out, because if you think about it, 12 does not go into 100 evenly. So I need to, though, skip count until I get to a number that is below 100, and that's going to tell me what my answer is going to be. So I do 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84, 96. I could add one more and go up to 108, but I know that's more than 100, so you notice when I get to 96, I I've stopped at 8, so that means goodbye 8 stickers. Hopefully that's not too confusing there. Well, that's actually the last slide that we have, and that's the end of our online math lessons. Of course, if you have questions, there's something you're a little bit confused on, or you just want to go over the worksheets, myself and Madame Donald are available every Thursday for the rest of the year, up until June 4th at 1 p.m. for extra online math help. So if you have questions, feel free to stop by. And if not, I hope everyone is doing well. And I probably will, some of you I will actually get to talk to online before this. But those of you that have not, I hope these have been a little bit helpful. And I hope that you all have a wonderful summer. And looking forward to seeing all of you again.